This is my final production diary, and it's just going to be like a summary of like the whole task. Now I've completed it all and done it. So to begin with, like at the beginning of the thing, we had to do a preliminary task, which was to design a school magazine. And like it was just to really like to allow myself to get used to InDesign, Photoshop, and how to use the camera and equipment for when it came to making my real magazine. And with the preliminary task as well, we had to choose a target audience, and we had to base our magazine around them. So like I did like the younger year 7, so like 12-year-olds. So I used bright colours, bold text and everything like that. And then we had to do an evaluation on that, which was like, although it was small, it helped me like get in mind what I had to do for my final product. Anyway, after the preliminary task, we moved on to the research task. And this was just looking at previous music magazines such as NME, Q, like all them kind of things, and just looking at like how they like show their artists, how they use their colour scheme, how they use images, what kind of masthead they have, their masthead meaning, all of that. So we did like masthead meanings, and we looked into the analysis and we analysed them. We looked into like contents page and analysed them in detail, like saying what pictures mean, what the colours, the fonts. We did it for the double page spread as well and the front cover. And by like doing this research into all like these previous magazines just gave me so much detail and information that I think has helped me so much in my final product. Like I think if I hadn't have researched as much as I had done and put so much effort and time into the research task, I don't think I would have made as much of a good product as I have now, because that knowledge I learned has been put into my final product now. But after the research, we did planning. And planning was just the involvement of like drawing out a sketch of my design. Like this was just on plain A4 paper and was very brief, but it just gave me an idea of when designing it on the computer where I wanted the images to go, the font, the text, and all that, etc. I planned also, I chose 4 mastheads that I wanted to use, and I did them in the text that I was going to use, and I wrote about them and like compared them to my target audience that I want, which I'd done using I'd done making an audience profile, which just basically said the type of person I want to read my magazine, and I chose them to be like middle, young aged adults who are currently at university and have like disposable income to spend, because I want my magazine to be for someone to read out of enjoyment, not purely for the fact that they feel they have to. But anyway, I looked into the mastheads and I chose my own. I chose my colour scheme. I did a moving mood board with like the artists and images and the genre that I wanted my magazine to be based around. And by doing all them, like it just helped my magazine come together as a product. Although I hadn't yet made it, I knew exactly what it was going to look like, the people it was going to involve, my artists, like the backing story. It was just like I just had it all together. While this was all going on, I was constantly making weekly production diaries so that I had an update of what was like I had done and what needed to be doing, and this like kept my organisation throughout, which was so useful for me. Anyway, after the planning and like we began on the drafting. Yeah, we began on the creation of the actual magazine, and this took, oh gosh, this took a while. This took organisation, skills, constantly putting an image, then logging on again the next day and changing where I put the image before. Then I'll put in another image, change the text, change the layout. This was constant changing and comparing it to previous products, previous magazines, just constantly changing it, using all my ideas that I collected and knowledge and information just to put together this whole final magazine piece. So the draft took me ages, probably about good 2 months, but this draft allowed me to like see my final magazine product, but not to the final stage, because it allowed me to see what I didn't actually like when I had my idea put down on like format, like as good. Like I thought it was going to look amazing, but when I did it, I could see some things that needed to be changed. So by doing a draft, it allowed me to make these changes to make my magazine the best it could have been. After this, we did like while making the drafting, I had to do a progress thing. So I would like screenshot the progress I made, put it in, screenshot, put it in, screenshot, put it in. This like allowed me to look at how my magazine grew as I kept going through the weeks, and it's really amazing to see like the amount of progress I actually did make. I then continued on to do the final product, and this was just making the smaller changes to the thing. Like say on my draft I had 5 images, I think I may have wanted another image, so in my final like thing I just added in a smaller image and maybe deleted some text and made some text bigger, just to make like the smallest things that made the biggest difference. Like it just made it look so professional and final. Like I'm so happy with my end product. Then after all the planning, the drafting, all of that, I then went on to write my evaluation. My evaluation also like fitted in with my audience feedback. That's another thing I got a friend of mine to comment on it and give me feedback to what they liked and everything, and this helped me before I did my evaluation to just do the final changes and then to evaluate it, which I did myself when I wrote a essay which consisted of 7 questions which evaluated my work, my timings, how I handled the timings, how I handled the work amount, the stuff I did, what I could have done better, how I used the equipment, everything like that. Like, it was just so long but so like useful to see how much effort and work actually went into one final product. So that was my evaluation. But I also forgot to mention that obviously during the process as well, I did a photo shoot obviously to get my magazine photos. That was in about 3 months into the process, and that's where I had my models and I chose the outfits and I chose the lighting and I looked up poses that I wanted to do and the props I wanted them to use. And my photo shoot, it couldn't go better. I had a model in different outfits, had different musical props, had a guitar, a microphone, had fun props like glasses, and when put into the magazine, it meant that I had a variety of images. So my magazine didn't look plain or boring. When you look through my magazine now, the final product, it is all variety throughout. I've got different artists, I've got a band photo. It just looks so good. So this is my final diary, and it's just basically a summing up of how I feel the general like task went throughout from the start to the end. And I just want to say that I'm really happy with my product. I love it, and I don't think I could have done anything better because I used the program, I used the software, used all the photos, used my knowledge, used previous magazines for help. I just put everything into it and I'm really happy with the final product.